Has COVID and the world at large at the moment got you thinking about money and, in particular, your insurance? Well, if this is the case, you're certainly not alone. What we're finding at the moment is there's definitely a heightened level of inquiries around, I guess, backup plans in general, having enough money to get through certain times and events. Insurance is one of those things. With a little bit of extra time that we also have, we can try and knock some of these things off our to-do list. And what I'm going to share with you today on this video is a little bit about our experience that we've had with the insurance companies if you are looking to place a policy with the insurers at the moment. So we're getting a lot of questions whether they're still taking applications, what additional questions are being asked, what struggles or things we're finding difficult to place with the insurance companies. And that's what I want to run through with you today. Now, we've brought out a new tool this week that I dumped my brain and came up with 29 of the common mistakes, weird number I know, that I find that most people are making with their insurances. And I've listed all these out for you. Now, it's not just a list of condition or mistakes that they're making. It's also some context around these things so that you can have a look at it and see whether or not you're making any of these mistakes for yourself and what you can actually do about it. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can put comment mistakes down below. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll put the link to this down below as well. But download that guide, have a look through it, and make sure that you're not making any of those mistakes for yourself. Bit of a word of warning, it is 14 pages long, so it's pretty in-depth. Have a look through it, and if you have any questions, as always, let me know. But today, as I mentioned, we're going to have a look at the COVID restrictions on any new insurance applications. So this is for you if you are considering your insurance, if you're making adjustments to your current policies, or if you are looking to do this for the first time. The first point I wanted to look at was, were the insurance companies or are the insurance companies actually accepting new applications at this stage? And the short answer to that is yes. The insurance companies are definitely open for business. They are taking applications. So if you are looking to do this for your life, TPD, trauma, or income protection, there is absolutely an ability to place these policies with the insurance companies. In saying that, there are some additional things that are being asked at the moment and additional questions and steps and protocols that are being followed when placing this business, which is what I'll talk about next. So secondly, the additional things that they're looking at from an insurance perspective are purely trying to mitigate their risk of something that is fairly unknown. Now, the insurance companies, you can understand at this stage, are dealing with something that they've never seen before. Like all of us, this is new. And also, we don't know what the implications are. A, if someone is diagnosed with COVID from the long-term impacts. B, how long this whole situation is going to be around for. And thirdly, what financial impacts are going to happen to businesses and therefore impact the livelihoods and also both mental and physical health of us as people. So you can understand that there's a bit of a wariness when it comes from the insurance perspective. Now, I'll share with you a bit of a story. We had a client reach out to us recently. They were receiving their full income. So they're still getting 100% of the income that they were earning pre-COVID. But what was happening was their employer was actually claiming JobKeeper on their behalf. This proved to be a little bit difficult. So as part of the process that we follow, we do what we call a pre-assessment. So we go through and we ask the question of the insurance companies, hey, guys, with a profile like this, what offer would you make from an insurance perspective? During this pre-assessment process, what we found was of the 8 insurance companies that we went to, 7 of which wouldn't offer the cover, or 7 of these insurance companies wouldn't offer the cover at all at the moment, based on the fact that the client that we're working with was receiving JobKeeper, even though their income hadn't dropped. So my suggestion to you is, if you are in receipt of JobKeeper, irrespective of whether or not your income has dropped or been reduced or been impacted, there may be some impacts on your ability to put in an application with the insurance companies for any new benefits. This is particularly the case for your income protection style policies, which would have a bearing on that income. Secondly, based on the occupations and the role that you're doing, the insurance companies may have some additional questions as to the level of impact that COVID is having on your day-to-day. Are you working from home now? Is that likely to continue? Are your hours reduced? All these different things are questions that they can ask about your current role and the impact that COVID is having on your current situation. Now, don't be too put off by this. One of the things that you might find a bit interesting is before all this stuff with COVID happened, some of the insurance companies are actually really funny. And I say funny, it's not funny. They're a bit old school in the way they look at working from home, particularly. So if you are working from home, there was some interesting limitations, let's put it that way, that were placed on you for your insurances if you were working from home before all this happened with COVID. It's become a lot more common for all of us. Most of us are working from home now, if not full-time in some capacity, and it's likely that this is going to be the way moving forward. And why not? Businesses will save money. It's easier for us, less time commuting, that sort of thing. So I think the whole way that we do attend workplaces and work going forward will be different. And as such, I do see that the insurance companies will have to move in the way that they treat this. And it's not all of them. There are definitely, though, some of those insurance companies, if you're with one of those and you're looking to make changes or place an application, that you may struggle to receive, again, those income protection benefits if you have your job set or working from home, you don't have a separate office, you don't have a separate entrance, and those are the things that they start to ask. So to be prepared for the application, which is the third thing that I wanted to talk about today, it's like any general situation when you're looking for insurance. The more prepared and the more forewarned you can be about this, the better. And it's a little bit like going to the bank for a loan. The better prepared you are going into that application, the better the chance of an outcome that you expect at the back end of that application. And what I mean by that is that, let's say that it is that loan example. If you had your bank statements ready, your credit cards were paid back in full, all those sort of admin-y style things were all done, you had some certified ID, it'd be much easier for you to go to the bank, apply for that loan, and be successful with that loan. The same thing happens with your insurances. If you're aware of what they're asking for before you go into the insurance application, or even better, if you're aware of the specific questions that the insurance company that you're applying with will ask, then you can realize whether or not they're going to be able to offer you the insurances based on your current circumstances. Now, not every insurer is going to work in exactly the same way. So just because one provider won't offer you the benefits, you do have the ability to take that to the others in the market and ask the question. Now, the thing that we find a little bit difficult with that is when you have your insurance with your super fund, for example. Now, if you feel like some people that that's the only option that you have, you're actually incorrect about that. You do have the ability to maintain your super fund wherever you choose and apply for your insurances with whoever you'd like to use and still have the premiums funded from your existing super fund. So if you go back to your super fund that you have your insurances or your balance with, and you ask them to do the insurance for you, just because they say no, doesn't mean that you won't be able to get that somewhere else. So if you are struggling with that, or if you've got a bad decision and you're not happy with it, reach out to someone like myself and we'd be happy to walk through what some of those options would look like. So just to wrap it all up before I throw over to any questions, if there are any, the insurance companies are definitely taking on applications at the moment. So if you feel the need to either place your insurance or get insurance to protect you and your family, it's definitely doable at the moment, and the insurance companies are open for business. Secondly, there are some additional things to look out for, particularly if you're on JobKeeper. And the other one would be if you are working from home, like most of us are, just be careful and being wary and prepared for some of those additional questions that will be asked going into that. And finally, the preparation is the key. So the more prepared you can be, if you do get a bad decision, remember that that doesn't have to be final. You don't only have the one option, and there are things that you can do, and there are available options out there for you as well. Finally, if you do want a copy of that 29 mistakes, the common mistakes guide that I've put together, Facebook, as a reminder, put the word mistakes down in the comments below. Secondly, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube rather, there'll be a link down in the comments that you can access that one as well. If there's anyone watching with any questions, let's take those now. Otherwise, we'll be back at the same time next week and with a new topic around the world of insurance. Looks like we're all good to go. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching again on the repeat if you are. I appreciate it. If you have any suggestions for future topics, let me know as well. I'll be happy to come back to you on that one. As always, let me know of any comments, suggestions, feedback that you've got, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you.